Kings 11 Punjab have done the double over the Rajasthan Royals, who fallen 2 hits short of what should have been a chase that they could have got over the line with. Rahul Tripathi's laborious 50 wasn't to set up a foundation from where Stuart Binney and Jofra Archer and Ashton Turner would take on. Ajinkya Rahane at 4 wasn't quite a deal that worked, but 52 from KL Rahul, and don't leave out R. Ashwin's little cameo that might have made a significant difference. A 12-run win that gives Punjab their 4th win out of 5 at Mohali and sets them back on course after a blip against Bangalore in the last game. For Rajasthan, they find themselves with Bangalore at the foot of the table. This is the ESPN Cricinfo Matchday T20 post-match show. Sanjay Manjrekar is here, so too is Sean Tate. And while Ajinkya Rahane has already spoken about this game and said that not much can be criticised, I think we're going to respectfully disagree, because there are a few points that Rajasthan Royals would need to look at if they are to avoid games like this. Sanjay, where has this game gone wrong for you?
Rahul
chase,
Tripathi
yes.
opened the innings, so I thought, there's some plan here, but he went on to play a normal innings. So I thought he was a guy who was going to take on the bowling in the first 6 overs. So that didn't happen. And their main, the Rajasthan, the Royal of Rajasthan, the Royals is Butler, and he got out early. So that way the hopes were dashed. And then Ajinkya Rahane came down the order, batted at number 4 when it should have been Ashton Turner, who hasn't played for a month, so he should have had more time in. And I didn't know what Ajinkya Rahane was trying to do. To be fair to him, towards the end, he was trying to hit the big shots. But I've said this numerous times with Ajinkya Rahane, is that for a long time now, he's just lost his batting mojo. And it was seen again today how he was struggling to just time the ball. Not a single shot that he attempted was well timed.
I mean, that cameo from Stuart Binney, if at all, only makes the Rahane innings look that much worse, because 33 not out of 11 from Binney in what was a heroic cameo after the game was just going further and further away, and all you needed was someone to go at the other end with him. It just didn't happen.
Yeah, well, that's obviously, you can't blame the wicket, because Binney's come in and
Exactly.
hit. So there's obviously the wicket's reasonable for batting, isn't it? So I just think Tripathi at the top of the order, Rahane may as well be opening the batting. If he's going to go 50 or 45 balls, Rahane may as well stay opening, right?
Yeah.
And I just think he needs to get confidence into himself and back himself to be an opening batsman that's going to play freely through the offside, over the offside, 2 fielders out. He just needs to take that role on as a captain and stick to it. Tripathi, if he's going to open the batting, he's got to be striking a bit better than that.
Yeah, I mean, Butler was taking all the risks, while Tripathi was sort of, just playing second fiddle. Didn't understand that. And we've all watched Ajinkya Rahane very closely. I've followed his career virtually every game, and I've said this, he's just lost his batting rhythm, the timing. And the one thing that I see, Sean and Ronak, with him is that every time you speak to him, you hear his comments in the press as well. Not once has he said that I'm batting poorly. Even in that interview that happened there, he was giving reasons as to why the team lost. I think he's got to accept first that there's something wrong with his batting. When he does that, then the healing can begin.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to our match day match point. Strong words from Sanjay, but fair, because you're seeing the sort of innings that this was from Ajinkya Rahane and Rajasthan Royals. And let's focus on the poor batting for Rajasthan and continue our discussion around this. Rahane said that Tripathi went up because he was struggling in the middle. That's Tripathi was struggling in the middle, so we felt he would be better benefited that way. Does that make sense to you? Can you understand the decision? If not, its execution.
To be fair to the leadership, team management as well, I don't think there is great ability for them to choose from. It's not like if there's the party in the team, there's some sensational young Indian batsman waiting in the wings to come in. But after that Binney show, I'll be tempted to tell Binney that just, make sure you're 100% fit, because I love the way he played, showed good temperament, showed the skills as well. You've seen Tripathi numerous times. I think he's getting far too many opportunities for the kind of ability that he has. I'd rather invest that time in Binney. Has given me enough today for me to feel optimistic about Binney being their number 4 instead of wasting all those opportunities and time in somebody like a Tripathi who didn't impress me at all, although he got a 50 today.
Terry, at that point that Sanjay points out, the 12th over when Sanju Samson's gotten out, who's also played a very similar sort of innings, 27 of 21. Everyone seems to be playing like that. It seemed obvious that that's when they needed that little injection of someone who can strike big, and they sent Rahane to partner Tripathi. Was that a key moment where the chase was lost?
Yeah, I think Turner probably should have gone in. You may as well, if you're going to pick him to do a job over Steve Smith, you may as well send him in at the most important time of the innings. That's what he's there for. He's in too late. He had to go for it wasn't a great shot that Turner played, but he had to go for it. That's what he's been paid to do. So I think if you look at both teams, I think, did Miller come in at 4 for Punjab?
Could have.
Miller came in at 4,
So
yes.
he came up the
Miller
order,
came
he
in
came
at
in at 4 and he got 40 off 27 balls. That's the difference. They had a player that was coming in and willing to sacrifice getting out for a match-winning performance, which in the end, I think David Miller's innings looks really good.
Is there a problem with intent or a problem with personnel for Rajasthan?
Personnel as well. You've got to admit that when you look at the squad versus other squads in the IPL, they've got severe limitations. They've got some good foreign players, but hardcore T20 players, not enough. Sanju Samson is a good T20 batsman.
Yeah.
They've shown that already in the season, but not consistent enough. Ajinkya Rahane is a problem. He's captain and he's not T20 material, so that's hurting them. Bowling-wise, I think Dhawal Kulkarni once again showed that he's not somebody you can rely on match after match, and today as well, that big over right at the end, and Ashwin, I think Ashwin is my man of the match today.
Yeah,
2
okay.
wickets and that cameo.
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Let's talk of Ashwin in just a bit, but what about the spinners? Ashwin and his... let's first look at how the spinners bowled in tandem to choke that Punjab chase in the middle. Murugan Ashwin bowling the 17th over and still very effective. The wicket of Ashton Turner too. So let's focus on, firstly, his choice of his team selections. He's decided, Terry, to drop in the seam. He could have gone for Ankit Rajput or picked Andrew Tye. Decided to go with the 3-man spin combination. He's obviously read this perfectly.
I think he probably saw the opposition they were playing against as well and thought this is going to match up pretty well. But these are bold decisions that teams like Kings 11 are happy to do. Whereas if you compare it to Rajasthan, I mean, today they made a couple of bold ones, but they're not willing to do enough. Where I think Ashwin's a good thinker of the game.
Yeah.
He's an intelligent cricketer, this guy. So. And his performance tonight as well himself was match-worthy.
I'm going to come to R. Ashwin in more detail when we come to that match point. I have a few things I want to ask you. But what about Murugan Ashwin on the other hand, who's gotten limited? There are some of these cricketers who aren't automatic picks. They have to make instant impacts. Otherwise, they find their way out as soon as they were in. And every time Murugan Ashwin's bowling, he just seems a more and more handy 4-over bowler.
If you watch this IPL and look at Indian players, young Indian bowlers, uncapped, have completely overshadowed uncapped Indian batsmen. Or maybe young Indian batsmen. Temperamentally, they've been far superior than young Indian batsmen who seem to know only one way to get out of trouble. Anxiety when there's a run chase on, pressure is on, they hit the ball in the air and get out. So he's just one of the many that we've seen. We've seen some seamers as well. Saini holding his own, Prasidh Krishna. Young Indian bowlers have completely...
Rahul Chahar's been great for Mumbai. You had Murugan Ashwin for Kings 11
Gopal
Punjab.
again,
Shreyas Gopal
young
has
Indian
been
bowler.
excellent. Yeah,
so
good point.
T20 is actually creating better bowlers temperament-wise, while the batsmen are struggling to cope with the pressures that come with T20 cricket. And that's why I love T20 cricket, because batsmen are feeling pressure more now than the bowlers.
Okay, brilliant. Well summed up. And Ajinkya Rahane, of course, is certainly feeling the pressure, even if he may not admit it. But let's focus on how Punjab spinners throttle the chase for Rajasthan Royals. We're looking at the numbers against pace and spin. You can see the striking difference. There were only 2 seamers today. I don't know what you call Mandeep Singh, but the rest of them were all 4 overs of seam from Arshdeep and Mohammad Shami. Going at 10.5, the spinners have essentially won them the game, 6.54. Let's focus a little more on Arshdeep Singh. It's not easy. 19-year-old bowls to Joss Butler of all people. He's just come off the back of a match-winning innings as the England keeper batsman. And what did you make of him, Sean Tate?
He was pretty impressive. I mean, there's not much of him, is there? You look at him, he's a slight fella, and he's just stood up and
Is that after today's performance? Because he's looking so
he's
happy.
he's like a Cheshire cat there, isn't he? So he's, but again, that's an example of what Sanjay's saying about the bowlers coming in and stepping up in the IPL and T20s rather than the batsmen. Here's another example. And good on Kings 11 for giving him a go as well. I just thought he kept it simple. He bowled across the right-handers. They got good length and great angle across the right-handers. Held his nerve. He must have been so nervous. And good on him.
Yeah, 29 of his first 3 and the wicket of Joss Butler included. Then went for a few at the end, which makes those figures slightly more expensive. But it's again an interesting call by Ashwin, not to leave out Ankit Rajput and play Arshdeep Singh, something different, left-handed.
I'm sure he's thought about it, because tactically this guy is very good, because that is what he does. He's a sharp thinker, sometimes overthinks cricket and complicates it, but he must have thought in his mind, left arm seamer, round the wicket. Somebody like Butler, he can bowl it outside the off stump. The pitch is a bit dry, he can take the pace off. So all those calculations must have gone through his head.
Yes.
All right-handers?
Yeah, a lot of right-handers.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no Ben Stokes in this game. They were filled with right-handers. So get a good call to play Arshdeep Singh. And this again amplifies your point. Bowlers with some temperament, under pressure. It's only his first game, but you're going to see better. You're seeing better results from bowlers than from the batsmen.
Yeah, that is the thing, because I wrote also a little while earlier, 50 overs cricket is too heavily loaded in favour of batsmen because if they're out of touch, they can take their time. They can take 3 or 4 overs to settle in. T20 cricket, you've got 1 or 2 balls to settle in. Ashton Turner, poor fellow, felt the pressure. So batsmen sometimes are under more pressure than the bowlers.
Now, we've seen that in a number of cases, not just Ashton Turner, Liam Livingstone the last time when he came out for Mumbai, and there seem to be quite a few of them in the Rajasthan Royals camp. But well done to Arshdeep, who we may not have seen the last of in this IPL after an impressive debut. Let's give R. Ashwin the time and credit that he deserves. He was spoken of for all the wrong reasons in this reverse fixture, but Sanjay Manjrekar has already said that he picks him as the most impactful player of this match with bat, with ball. I'd like to make this a conversation about both captains, where even Ashwin, there are questions of whether he's a sure shot in your 11 for a 2020 game. He doesn't necessarily give you a lot of wickets. He's done a steady job this time, but calls that he makes, teams that he picks, decisions that he takes, he's increasing his own value. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, the first time Kings 11 sort of punted almost on Ashwin, the captain.
Yeah.
I was very excited because this is a guy who always has a lot of theory like me on cricket. This is how it's got to be played. And when Virat Kohli was the captain, they were the 2 alpha males in the team. And he always had, views on the game and very honest and straightforward. So I wanted to see how he would go as a leader. And he's done brilliantly for Kings 11 Punjab. He's surprised me, to be very honest, because I thought, once you have so many ideas and suddenly you become the leader, you would be a little confused with all these ideas. But he's done brilliantly. So Ashwin as captain in T20 cricket adds a lot of value. If he's not captain, his bowling, well, there are better bowlers to play for India.
Yeah. JD?
I just think he's been, all these years he's been under Dhoni's shadow, not shadow, but you know what I mean.
Stewardship.
So he's never had a chance to bring his thoughts to the forefront. So and under Kohli as well, and whatever. So no one's ever looked at him in India and said this guy's a leader, he's captain material. And I think this is a perfect franchise for him to be at as well, to do that. Some young guys haven't been the most successful franchise. And I think it's allowing him to take over and completely run the show himself, which is good.
I mean, Brad Hodge had said when he was at that franchise that Ashwin takes serious investment in thinking about, how he wants this franchise to be worked. And somewhere it seems like, win or lose, but it's infectious on the rest of them. You look at Ajinkya Rahane as that one leader or pivotal figure, you don't quite think it's having the same effect on the rest of the team.
And I think
he's representative of the captain.
Yeah, and I think he's leader by nature as well. And there's also another angle that comes into Ashwin's performances at the IPL level. You see him, he's really driven by IPL.
Yeah.
The reactions every time he gets a wicket, you don't even see that at the international level.
Yes.
So when he's captaining there, bowling for Kings 11 Punjab, he's also trying to show the national selector, somebody in the Indian team as well, that I'm still here and I'm still a winner.
It's amazing he's not even spoken of in the white ball setup anymore.
Yeah, because when you look at Ashwin, you look at him as a spinner, and then you think Kuldeep Yadav, Chahal and Jadeja. If you look at Ashwin, he's been economical, but he's not getting wickets. And that's what you look for when you have spinners in your T20 side. You want wicket takers, and that's where I think Ashwin falls out a little bit. But today, he was the star with tactics. I mean, every time the ball was hit in the outfield, there was a fielder there to show that the field placement has been excellent. Bat and ball contribution, I hope, is the man of the match today.
Just quickly, is he the sort of guy that could be running operations of cricket when he retires at a franchise? Do you know what I mean?
I actually asked him what he wants to do after retirement when he said he wants to be CEO of a company.
He can be CEO of the Kings 11 Punjab.
He's attended a couple of, I think, panel discussions on ESPN Cricinfo, so maybe CEO of Walt Disney soon.
Oh my goodness, that's a big one. That's a very big one. And I can hear from the roar back in the production rooms that everybody enjoys that.
He has aspirations. He's got a lot of thoughts. He's a very interesting character.
No, I don't think he'll be into politics.
He's going to politics, is he?
I don't see him as getting...
He is very socially conscious, but not a politician, but he'll do a lot of charitable work because when something goes wrong in Tamil Nadu, he feels for that situation. So he's not somebody who's just going to sit at home and relax. And he's a very active person.
If he does get into politics, one thing he'll do is get cricketers to vote wherever they are because that's one of his recent pet peeves. He wants the government to make sure they can vote wherever they are. But that's Ashwin for you. He's cut from his own cloth. He's a different one, but he's managed to keep his team in the hunt on the points table. They find themselves in the right end of the IPL points table at the halfway, or just over the halfway mark. They are the first team to complete 9 games, the Kings 11 Punjab, and they're on the right side of the 5-4 split of wins to losses. That net run rate, keep an eye on, but that's 4 wins at home as well. Yes, Sanjay.
The interesting thing that's happened with the points table this season is look at Kings 11 Punjab. They've lost 4 and won 5. So that's not a great record.
Sure.
But despite that, they're in the top 4. So that is something that's very unique this time round.
Kolkata and Hyderabad losing a lot. Might add to that.
Yeah. And Chennai is the only team that has really played impressive cricket when it comes to results. All the others are losing as many as they've played, and fortunately
cancelling each other out.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's what we have, in Chennai are in action tomorrow. Let's move
You
to
lost
our
your voice.
Frog in the throat there?
Yeah, just Teddy just keeps feeding me. Let's go to the
It's the
contest.
Ashwin discussion, I think. He's got a soft corner for Ashwin.
I don't. Yeah, let's go to the Fat Four, please. Sanjay Manjrekar.
I must have lost this very badly.
130. It's a decent effort. Ashwin himself has given you 57 points. And you've got 40 from Gale and 33 from Butler, nothing from Shreyas Gopal. What do we have for Sean Tate?
I think it's one of my best performances.
He's corrected.
By a mile.
Smashed it out of the park. 100 from Jofra Archer, Mohammad Shami with a 50, Rahul with 82. Sanju Samson also nixes away to a few, along with a catch or two.
Yeah, I made some stupid selections. I think Jofra Archer was a great pick. I don't know how I missed that one. Well done. Sean, he beats me every time, by the way.
No, but
He only beats you.
I got
'cause he
70.
loses to
I got
everyone
70.
else
I got 200 more points.
Quite
than last
handsomely. Many thanks to
I
Sanjay
can only
Manjrekar.
beat people from Bollywood.
No, you.
Suresh Menon earlier in the show, one of the shows that we did. Non-cricket experts I can beat.
Right. Sanjay, it is so much fun having you. It's such a shame that we
yes.
don't have more days of you.
Yes.
That's because, like you said, you're everywhere.
Then I start getting on your nerves as well. It's better. I'm better in small doses.
Right, that's why we have Sean Tate for 3 full weeks. Thank you very much, Sean Tate. An absolute pleasure. Get the thoughts of Teddy, and Murli Karthik will be back in studio ahead of the Chennai-Hyderabad game tomorrow at the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium. Do join us for that, 7:30 p.m. IST, and 6 o'clock for ESPN Cricinfo Face-Off. Story from Mohali is that R. Ashwin continues to inspire the Kings 11 Punjab, and he's inspired them to the right half at number 4 on the points table.